If anybody hasn't watched the videos, they won't know what that bell looks like.
It's got a little happy face on it.
Sure does. And you know what?
So do I.
As do I.
So you tell me something, Mr. Craig.
I'm going to tell you about who we have on the next episode. Ye Cody Askins, and ye shall receive top 8% nation.
You put a lot into that, dude.
I know. Was it good? Well, this episode's good, so buckle up.
That's so funny. Oh, let's do it.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast.
I can already tell I'm have to be on my A game to keep up with you guys. You know that?
Uh-oh.
Not much.
West Coast
go.
offense.
Cody, how
How's
you
that?
doing, man? So what event are you out at today?
It's called Nougat Con. It's put on by JD Frost.
Okay.
It's a CPA firm. They've got like Tim Story, Coach Michael Bird, and some other guys that I'm kind of friends with. So I'm and then I got a insurance buddy of mine that's speaking. So I'm out here supporting him and hanging out, and then going to Orlando tomorrow night. So
Nice.
yeah.
So
Jinx.
Cody, what's the first concert you ever went to? We always start with this fun little question. Well, we try to start with it. Sometimes we forget, right, Craig?
Yep. You forget.
See, I'm not a music guy, but I bet my first one. I'm really not, but I bet. Oh my gosh, dang! My household was always big country fans, even though I'm not a country music fan.
Okay.
Yes.
But it was probably like freaking Rascal Flatts or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I like Rascal Flatts.
All right. Okay. That's not bad.
That's awesome.
I got to make sure I tag you guys on Instagram too.
Yes.
You just made me remember something that we need to do.
Dude, thank you guys for having me on this. I'm excited.
Dude, thank you for coming on, especially when you're out and about.
Well, I'm sorry that the schedule didn't work out. I am normally extremely good at like saying I'm gonna do something and then doing it. Craig, is it Pretzinger on Instagram? Is that what it is?
No, well, you could do that and the insurance dudes or insurance_dudes_podcast is also
Sweet.
on Instagram. That way
I've started to hear more about you guys quite a bit.
What do you hear? What?
I hear that it's entertaining. I hear that you have good guests. I hear that the two of you are freaking crazy, which I love. Which is good, man. It's good. Jason, is it Jason_Feldman?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Look at this guy. Tag it before we even get going.
Dude,
Love
you got
it.
to, man. You know it?
You're on it. So Cody, take anybody who doesn't know who you are back to the beginning.
How far are we going?
Tell us who you are, where you got to, the journey up to where you are now.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. You know what? I'm a sports guy that always grew up playing sports. I grew up originally in Arkansas. My dad's been in the insurance business close to 30 years, so I grew up around it.
That's cool.
I still didn't raise my hand on career day saying I wanted to be an insurance agent, though. You know, I don't think anybody does.
Nobody does. Yeah.
No.
He's the only one.
But I've grew up around it. I grew up playing basketball, football, baseball. Went to college and played basketball at a little bitty Bible college And while there, I got started in the insurance business and had some early success and fell in love, man. So
cool. Take us through that journey. What was
so
you get in? You have a little bit of background.
Yeah, so I got started as an intern at a Mutual of Omaha office where my dad was the general manager. And I was an intern. I was dialing out of the phone book for veteran agents before I knew that you're really not even supposed to be doing that. But, like I said, it was his job to tell me. And I did that for a while. And I saw agents making money. I saw agents struggling. I saw it. And then I just have always been someone that's confident in my ability and myself. And I'm like, you know what, if these dudes can do it, if this dude that I'm calling for can put the kind of numbers he's saying he puts up, I guarantee you I can do it too. So that's just the way I think. And so I jumped in as a part-time agent at 19, full-time agent at 20. And while I was playing basketball, practices, games, tournaments, and taking 21 credit hours a semester, I jumped in and really fell in love with the insurance industry. I learned pretty quick I got to see people to make any money, kind of common sense. And so I set out a goal. I said, hey, I want to make $100K my first year. I want to win the top company incentive travel trip with Mutual. And by setting a goal and then getting creative on ways that I can get in front of people, I would bring over college kids and have call nights every Monday night. And I'd book 8, 12, 16, 24 minutes. I'd book up my whole week in 2 or 3 hours every Monday night. And
that's interesting. So you would,
creative and it worked.
Yeah. You just grabbed kids from the college.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I ran the numbers. I'm the numbers guy. And I thought, you know what? I learned that I need to sit in front of 10 people every week. If I sit and ask 10 people to buy every week, I'll make $100,000. And I did. And I made sure I did that, even if I had to go out and knock 150 doors. So I did all off of being a captive agent, selling one carrier, 35 to 50% commission, all with no leads, and grinded and made $117,000 my first 8 months.
Wow. That is awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. And so, and being captive and stuff, there's so many people that are negative, right?
Totally.
There's so many agents that always see the negative. Mm-hmm. What kept you going through that on, I'm sure people said listen, Cody, you're not going to make that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone in my office, Yeah. My dad was probably the only person in my network that even believed that was possible. I mean, he kind of he honestly told me, hey, you're my son. I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard, and I may not physically help you go write $100,000, but you need to, you need to make the top trip, and to make the top trip, you had to make at least $100,000. So, yes, I mean, it opened my eyes and got me thinking bigger, and I was like, you know what? But you're right. Most people in our industry are negative, and they don't think that anybody can make it.
Yeah, it's like we always have these I don't know, these goals that are set. Yeah. And everybody's only setting their goals for those goals, and they're always a little short or something, or at least the majority is. And it's like, dude, you go above and beyond that. I mean, that's almost like the average, right? This is for the average agent. Like, are you going to be just average, or are you going to try to go above and beyond?
Yeah. I mean, going back to my statistic I talk about a lot, our statistic, I guess, really is 92% of insurance agents fail, which is absolutely insane. You would think by that statistic that this is a really difficult industry. I don't believe it is, man. I believe that it is simple. You just need to sit down and sit down with people every single week. If you do that, you're going to be successful. But it only reason 92% fail most of the time, and we can blame lack of knowledge, lack of sales ability, our manager, our training, the leads, as we love to. But it normally comes down to either someone's got it or they don't, and most people in our industry are lazy. They really are.
Yep. So take us beyond that. So what was your next steps after that for those first 8 months?
Yeah. So during those first 8 months, I would go out and door knock. So if I got out of college on a Friday at noon, and I didn't have any games, practices, or tournaments, I would go drive an hour and a half from home and door knock for 8-9 hours. Door knocking 125, 150, 175 doors sometimes in one stretch. And I'm a goal guy. So I would always say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out and sell 6 policies today, straight cold door knocking. And I would, simply because I guess I just learned how to door knock and do well with people, and I wouldn't stop until hit my goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then,
so you're out door knocking, what and doing and banging the phone. What other kinds of things, as you developed a client base and you started to grow, and then you scaled, and then now you have staff, then what are you doing? Because now you're being more strategic instead of actually down in the weeds executing on tactics. How did you change your mindset and move out of that salesman mode to this marketing guy, right? Which is what we all end up becoming.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is you say that, I still don't think of myself as a marketing guy. I still think of however, you're right. And so I noticed early on that I could go out and make 100K, and I was never truly satisfied. Even now I'm looking back and I'm like, I made $117,000. Okay. I probably could have made 150, 200, $250,000. And so, but one thing that always stood out to me is I would have managers call me and say, hey, can you come help my agents? And I was, 20, 21 years old. Can you come train my team? Can you come door knock with my team? Can you come make calls with my team? And so I got to where, I would drive a few hours just to hang out with some new agents and to help some new agents. And that was where my real passion was. I love that. I lit up more when I was able to help someone else make a sale than when I made a sale. And so I always enjoyed that. I stayed selling for years. We even we branched off and started our own company. My father got out of the corporate world and started Secure Insurance Group. And he's doing a lot of selling and has some agents and that kind of stuff. But where this all came from is I first put up a video on YouTube, December 28th of 2015. And I was just putting up content out there to help other agents. I didn't know where it was going to come from. I didn't think I would make any money from doing it, to be honest. I didn't even know why I was doing it. I just knew that I felt like I knew what new agents were going through. It's tough. It's a struggle. Most are failing. Most aren't making any freaking money, or when they do, they're making like 40, 50 grand, which really isn't even any money. And so I got to where I enjoyed that. I would put up videos, hey, I made 8 grand this week. Here's how you can too, if you follow these easy steps. And I got to where agents started reaching out all over the country. Hey, can you train me? Can we buy leads from you? Which at the time I was like, absolutely not. Which obviously, apparently things change over time though.
That's awesome. And so you built up quite the YouTube channel over the time, over those years. How many subscribers are you at right now?
Well, I know we just recently passed 12K, 12,000 not too long ago. So
that's awesome.
So,
thank you.
And yeah, that's fascinating. And part of our reach to, like, we're on, all the podcast things, but then we're also working at the YouTube, and man, it is not easy to grow a YouTube channel. So I know, without giving up your secret sauce, walk us through some of that, because I know, you started with 1 subscriber, which was you probably. And then
that's right.
How does that go? Cause I think a lot of agents aren't marketers, and they're more salespeople, right? And they're not, even if they are marketers, then they're not online marketers, which is a totally different animal. And YouTube is at the heart of that thing, because video is so powerful.
Yep. I would say a few things to think through. I mean, what any marketer should always think about is, and what I'm surprised I felt like this so early on, but I'm really glad I did. I was focused on bringing value to insurance agents and helping them without promoting me or my brand, or without an ulterior motive to take someone's money. That was the last thing on my brain. And so by putting out extremely useful content, and by looking for other content online that's already done well that maybe we can reproduce, right? Why not? And by actually hiring a video team and, you know, stop doing it on my own. We've learned a lot, you know. I mean, I've hired YouTube coaches. I mean, I realize it took me a while, you know, it took 6, 12 months for me to even notice anything start to happen, you know, and I'm sure everybody that does YouTube does that. Most quit too soon, right? Most insurance agents quit too soon.
On everything.
Most people that are marketers, most people YouTube anything, right? Most people quit too soon. And I'm someone that there was a period in my life where I didn't execute on stuff like I should have. You know, I was a collegiate athlete. I personally felt like I was getting out of shape, and my cardio level was, you know, freaking dog crap at some point. And it started to bother me because I would say, well, I can just flip a switch and get in shape tomorrow. Well,
right.
It doesn't always work that way, you know? And so I made a decision about 4 years ago, and I said, from now on, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to actually execute and follow through. And so I'm in the middle of getting my private pilot license right now, and I don't even have time to do it. Like, it's probably a really dumb idea, but I'm not going to quit because I promised myself years ago that when I start something, I'm going to finish it.
That's awesome.
Pilot to fly planes?
Well, yeah, to fly myself around, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Another fascinating thing we could go down. But
it's so funny. So when I was young, my mom would let me get out of stuff. Like if I started football, well, this is a true story. I started football and they were rough on me. You know what I mean? And I was raised by a mom, and I'm like, oh, you know, these guys are brutal, and they're like cussing me out and stuff. So she pulled me. So she constantly would let me quit things. I even dropped out of school early to play music, but I noticed that it was super easy for me to quit things. And I would never take it to, like your point, everybody stops before they reach the goal. Everybody, if they could see how far it is, they would know that, dude, you just went 75% the distance, go with that extra 25%, you're there. But everybody stops at that 75%. And that's what I was doing for years. Like I did it up until my 30s. And then I realized, I was like, dang, like once you do hit the distance, you're like, wow, that really wasn't hard. And it really wasn't that far.
Yeah.
But
80-20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that last 20% is 80% of the results.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even as a collegiate athlete, I should have.
It's a horrible habit.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, I should have put more into being a better basketball player and a collegiate athlete because I can't go back and get that time. But I was so obsessed with insurance that I neglected it, and I was an average basketball player at best. You know, I started at point guard and stuff like that, but I could have been so much better, and I have some regrets because of that, you know. And so
but it's
like we all do.
It's those regrets that fuel the fire of what you're doing now. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody has to have that in their past. Like if you don't have that in your past, or you're not regretting it, maybe you should, because that'll take you.
It's so fascinating is, you know, I think all of us talk to a lot of new agents, us because of the show. I have some coaching stuff, and then you deal with agents with your coaching, and it's fascinating because they want the answer. And we have some experience, so we're able to say, hey, look, you know, hire more people than you need. Buy more leads than you think you can handle. You're telling them all the things that work when you execute on them, and still they'll do the opposite of what you advise. And it's like they're not going to learn until they suffer. They have to walk across the coals. I think that's why Tony at the Tony Robbins event makes you walk across the coals, right? So that it's like you're literally walking across the coals so you can grow, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, on that note, there's one thing that I do. There's a couple things I do every morning now. And one of them is I work out. You know, I follow a workout regimen, or I do some cardio or something. I have to. Energy's everything. If my energy sucks, this podcast is going to be, I'm going to be horrible, and I'm going to embarrass you guys. But if I work out, maybe I won't.
We embarrass ourselves.
Yeah, we got that covered.
So don't worry about that.
Well, you guys are hilarious, so you'll recover. I'm not as funny, so it'll be tough for me. And the other thing I do is I finish every shower with about 60 seconds of ice cold water. Just to wake me the freak up. I hate doing it, but if I work out, or if I get my energy right, if I do the cold shower, if I write down my goals, but if I do some of these things I really don't want to do per se, then when I need to pick up the phone, I'll do it.
Right.
Yeah. Get used to something that's ultra uncomfortable.
Yep.
Right. Do you go all the way on C? Like, do you crank all the way?
I mean, the colder the better.
Dang.
See, here in Arizona, that's only like 80 degrees, so I think I could handle that.
You know what? You bring up a good point, because I was at a hotel in New York training a State Farm office, and the cold shower there was on another level than Missouri.
That's next level, huh?
I was like, my gosh, I can't handle this.
You hit a note that you never thought you could hit.
Correct.
We just had a guy on. His name is Jamie Alderton. He's a fitness guy, and he's English, and he no matter what, every morning walks out to the ocean and goes in the ocean in England, and even when there's snow on the ground. And we were just like, wow. I mean, that's nuts. And if you follow him on Facebook, he'll have videos of it. But he puts on the swim trunks the night before, so that he's already done the first thing that he would talk himself out of. If he wakes up, I don't feel like putting on swim trunks. They're already on, buddy. Right? There's no excuse. Now.
That's so cool, man. I love that. I got to follow.
That is cool.
It's really good.
Now we have to do the cold thing in the shower.
Dude, Tony Robbins has a little miniature jacuzzi that's 2x2 every morning. I don't know how he could fit in it because he's enormous, but
it's huge.
Same thing.
It's like it's like a tsunami that comes out of that.
Well, I think scientifically, doesn't it so your body, to survive, right? It all the blood goes in, and then you get out, and then it just goes, and it just pushes all the blood everywhere. So all to regenerate yourself.
Yeah.
So it's actually supposed to be really good.
I've always wanted to try that, but I am such a wuss with water. If the water is not 80 degrees, I'll be like, it's 79, I'm freezing. I'll put my toe in. That's it. I got to try it though.
You got to do it now, bro. You got to do it.
You're by the ocean, man. Do it. Do it every day.
I know. I'm not an ocean guy.
Okay. So morning routine, and then you get to the office, and what are you doing? You still have agencies?
I have an agency. I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Most don't. I don't talk about it.
Okay.
I can talk about it. This is your podcast. However, I don't talk about it on my own stuff because I don't want people to think that I'm doing what I'm doing to recruit anybody, because I'm not. And if there's people that I'm speaking at a conference in Orlando Saturday, and they were a little concerned about having me on stage, frankly, and I'm not doing what I'm doing to build a massive agency. Most think I'm absolutely ridiculous because for not taking advantage and doing that, but it's not my passion. I've got an agency director that runs it. It's profitable. I get a check from it, but I spend about 20 minutes a week on it. I don't want nothing to do with it. And it's because I want to operate in my lane, in my passion.
Yeah. Sometimes awesome. Not the most exciting thing, the actual agency itself.
No,
but it's really cool though with insurance. Here's something that is really cool about insurance is that you can do, like, there are so many different facets to it, right? You can do the coaching, you can do YouTube videos, you can nowadays, there's so much you can do. And it's all about helping.
All the InsurTech, which is sort of an oxymoron, in my opinion, in this industry. But
right.
But we're getting there. We
are getting there.
We're behind, but we're trying to catch up.
Well, the independents are something else. I mean, they can move a rocket at the speed of light because there isn't a giant compliance department telling them, you know. So
at least right now, there's a great window right now, I think, for independent agencies where there's so much that you can do. That's especially if you're a nerd and you like the tech stuff. Like there's some fun stuff you can do.
Yep. And that's kind of, because I'm a sales guy at heart, but I secretly enjoy some of the tech and marketing and advertising, you know, and all the videos and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's kind of strange.
Same here. Okay. Like that's what I like.
Yeah. So what's your passion, Cody? Like, let's talk about stuff that maybe you don't talk about as much in your other things. Because I'd like people to really get to know Cody.
Thanks, buddy. I think one of the fun things I love doing is there's two things that I truly, really enjoy. And both are very difficult, but you know, who cares? The first one is building a sales team. In our office, I moved myself into our sales team. We're hiring people every week. We're scaling up our sales team, and they're selling leads, marketing, tickets, coaching, consulting, etc. And I'm TOing calls. I'm taking the phone from people. I'm running around the room. I freaking love that.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, because I've just learned that my energy in a sales room, our sales team is totally different when I'm involved, and I enjoy it, so I might as well be involved. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and I'm trying to do more of this other thing, is events, man. I love events, which is the main reason we started 8% Nation. Events are one of the toughest things in the world. Everyone struggles to get butts in seats, even Grant Cardone, even though he won't admit it. Everybody struggles to get butts in seats. But I truly love the power of events. They get you thinking bigger. You get around like-minded people. You get a chance to network. I mean, the relationships that we've made because of putting on 8% Nation, and we've lost a lot of money putting on 8% Nation. I don't care to say that. And if we want to get into detail, we can. But the relationships we've got from starting that conference has been unbelievable.
From vendors or from partners or just people attending?
Yeah, people attending, speakers, sponsors, vendors, some people that, you know, maybe I can call that I didn't think would ever take my call.
Sure.
You know, there's just some, or like today, I was in South Carolina and I had an agent call me and another one text me, and they were reaching out because they're like, hey, I see you're in Greenville. Can you meet us? You know, and I went and met one at Starbucks, you know, for some coffee, you know. I feel like because of that, I can go to different parts of the country and know people, you know, and it's unbelievable. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I think in the insurance space, people would be living under a rock if they didn't know who you were. And you've done it from these events, from your YouTube, from a multifaceted, like an omni approach, right? Coming on and hitting from every.
Thank you for saying that. I personally still feel like the majority of the industry doesn't know who we are, but I could be wrong. So,
yeah. Well, same with us.
I find it interesting. I do find it interesting when you're saying that it seems like agents, we're all very social. So it's everybody, you find your group, right? Your group of agents. And there are, going back to there's negative and positive. There's a lot of negative groups. And it's like that stuff festers, man. It's like, so if you're in there, you got to get out of there and put yourself around like-minded, like, I don't know, even if it's just, maybe they're not aggressive, maybe they're just positive. But like, to your point, that's one of your favorite things are those events. It's like you got to be around a group of positive people so that you just love what you do.
Yeah. And there's probably a few people in the industry that don't love me for some weird reason, but I strive to get along with everybody. You know, I truly, truly do.
That's cool, man.
You have to. It's back to this mindset of not of scarcity, but of abundance, right? It doesn't matter. We could be competing, we could be not competing. It really doesn't matter. There's a million agents.
Yep.
And then outside of this industry, there's hundreds of millions, there's billions of people, and everybody needs help. Everybody wants to connect. And we're in the time now that you can be more connected to the rest of the world. I mean, you can have telemarketers in the Philippines or, wherever and talk to them instantly. I mean, it's remarkable.
Plus, these Facebook groups have really made it possible for anybody to learn anything and connect with people all across the country and learn. I mean, I think there's some negativity. There's some cons to Facebook groups, but I think there's a lot of pros as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And you gotta push that stuff out. Yeah. Cause there's so much good and there's so much help that if you want to take it to the next level, you definitely can.
Yeah. And like you just said, if you want to find negativity and be a whiner and complainer, you will. If you want to find positivity and be a freaking all-star in this industry, you can be. That's where we go back to, I'm a goal guy, and I travel around training and stuff, and I love working with teams. And I'm someone that truly believes anyone can succeed. I believe anyone can hit any goal they want. And I believe most of it is just a decision. Either I'm deciding to do it or I'm really not deciding to do it. So I think a lot of our industry is easier than people think, but it's a lot of it's a mindset.
Yeah, I agree.
Almost all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. I know. Cause I mean, that's just sales in general, right? Like you hear 95 no's to get a yes, or whatever. But yeah, I think sales environments are tough and insurance can be tough because not a lot of people let those no's not get to them.
Correct. Yeah. A lot of people, you know what? They bother me on the days when I don't work out and take cold showers. They bother me too.
Yeah. When you don't set yourself right? Like you haven't done the setup. It's like you go into your basketball game and you didn't practice all week. If you don't practice, I mean, none of us are Allen Iverson, so we do have to practice. And if we don't practice, then we're not going to get to that place that we need to be.
Yeah. My wife knows that we could be totally apart on different ends of the country one day, my wife and I, and we could talk at like 3 p.m, and she would know if I worked out or did my cold shower just by my energy. And I'm probably going to complain and whine a bunch when I call her if I don't.
She knows they have a little psychic ability.
That's also true.
You didn't work out today, did you? That's what she'll say. Well, cool.
A couple quick questions. So what would some of your suggestions be to some insurance agents out there as far as marketing goes these days? Because I know there's a million different ways to market.
Yeah.
What was your advice?
That's a really good question, because there's a lot of insurance agents that lose focus. They think, well, I'll open my own Philippine call center, or I'll teach myself ads, or I'll go do direct mail, or, oh my gosh, a squirrel ran by, maybe I should be selling employee benefits. I think a big issue in our industry is if struggling or new agents look at the most successful agents in the country, they typically have one prospecting system that they do every single week. Maybe they add a secondary later, but they typically have one, okay? and they are so ultra laser focused on doing the same thing every week. The biggest reason why insurance agents fail is, and I'm guilty of it too, as salespeople typically have like either a high D or a high I on a DISC assessment, right? Or we have the entrepreneurial spirit, and we think that, like me, we think we need to have five different companies, and before the first one's ever really good.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts a lot of people. It's hurt me along the way. When you get, if we get enough attention, I guess it won't matter. But as an agent, most need to focus on being really good and really successful. My first year, I wouldn't have made $117K in 8 months if I would have added Medicare while I was selling life insurance.
Yeah,
That would have never happened. And my dad didn't want me selling. I don't know if I've ever said this on video, which is, you guys love stuff like this. My dad, at least I would. My dad told me he did not want me selling Medicare my first year because he wanted me to learn to be successful at insurance, selling the hardest product there is, and that's life insurance.
Oh, Medicare is a totally different animal. I mean, but life insurance, woof.
Right. That's right.
You have to be able to sell.
And I made $100K at 20 years old with no insurance experience, no sales experience, and no leads, and selling, and being captive, and making 35% commission on whole life, and selling life insurance. It's, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I believe anybody can make it in this industry. Like I did it. Yeah. I had so many things working against me. I didn't even know it.
There is a barrel full of excuses in what you just said right there, like that you could have used, right?
Yeah.
A million.
Yep. And you know what was a big benefit, and I didn't realize it then, but I realize it now. I didn't know they were supposed to be excuses.
Yeah. It's like that blind. Yeah. It's the blind. Ignorance is always bliss, right?
Yep. That's why a lot of recruiters, they complain and dog, MLM style companies, and that their agents are drinking the Kool-Aid. If I'm with a company, I need to be drinking the freaking Kool-Aid and being successful.
100%.
Yep.
Just believe in your product, man. If you don't drink the Kool-Aid, then what the hell are you doing selling that Kool-Aid?
That's right.
Yeah.
I hope it's watermelon. Just,
Yeah. What are some of your favorite books that have inspired you through the years?
Yeah, the first book I listened to every day in the car. You guys are asking some freaking good questions, man. It's like, I don't know if you did your homework or you always ask these questions or they're random. Good. The first book I listened to was The Art of Closing the Sale by Brian Tracy. I listened to that book on audio. I think there were 6 or 7 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, or 6 or 7 CDs I had, and maybe 5. I listened to those all day, every day, and that taught me a ton about sales. He talks in that book in the beginning, if you ever get a chance to listen to it or read it, that he was going around all these homes, people saying, I want to think about it, I'm going to call you back. And he thought, oh my gosh, so many people are going to come back and buy from me later. I'm not going to do all this freaking business. And what he quickly learned was, I want to think about it, or I want you to call me back, is polite customer speak for goodbye forever, we'll never meet again.
Right.
So
email me.
Yeah. So I've adopted his no callback policy. I've used it on some of the biggest sales I've ever made. I train agents to do the same thing, and it's crazy, but it works. And so that book got me started on a lot of the stuff that I use and why I use it.
So let's have a quick role play just for fun. I don't want to give away your secret sauce, but
do whatever. Let's give it all away.
Cody, your thing sounds
I gave
really
it away I already gave it all away on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the more you give away, the more they'll come and buy. So, Cody, I really think that you have a great program. Why don't you just go ahead and email me some of the details, because I'm just not ready right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, Craig, my office has a no callback policy, right? And the reason why is because we've had family members just like you tell us this in the past, that they're going to think about it, that they want us to call them back, that they're going to do it. They swear. And then they don't do it. They pass away in 6 months. And guess who the family blames for not helping them make a decision immediately when they should have made the decision from the very beginning? The insurance agent. Okay. So I'm going to be that guy. I'm not going to let that happen. We get along fantastic. You need it. You want it. You can afford it. Let's see if we can get you approved. What's your full legal name?
The assumption.
Craig Michael
Love
Fletzer.
it.
I'll take $1.5 million.
Dude, you have a family?
Of course.
Yeah, dude, you need at least 3 million, bro.
There we go. Well, I already have 5 million. So
boom, there we go.
That's good. That's good.
Thanks,
I love it.
Dude, that's what I love doing, by the way. That's a blast.
Oh, the role play is what gets them. And agents will ask, well, how do you move them to action, or what's the secret? And it's like, look, it's doing the same thing 10,000 times. That's the secret. That's why the Beatles were who they were. They didn't pick the guitar up and say, hey, I want to be an artist today. That's
right.
why it's why Shaq wasn't a good free throw shooter, because he didn't ever pick the ball up and shoot free throws. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just doing the same thing 10,000 times.
In my office with my sales team, we get our energy up. We either run around the building, do some push-ups or sit-ups or something, right? I'm big on energy, okay? You either do it or you get off my sales team. We also train. I specifically train them, and we role play. And we actually have sales training role play, several sales training role play games that we can do as well. And we do all that twice a day in my office.
I love it. Craig and I are big on the role playing in our agencies, because it really brings the team together. It makes them uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like it really unites them. But what are some of those games? Because that's interesting to me.
Yeah, so we have this one called Circle Closing Challenge, and we get in a circle, and each person has to simply ask a question. Okay, so I may say, right, how much insurance would you like? The next person may say, what's your budget? How much can you afford? Who's your beneficiary, right? And it keep going around one question at a time. And if you can't repeat the same question you've already repeated, you can't repeat what the person before you just said, or you can't hesitate or not finish with a question. And if you do, you're kicked out of the circle, and we go until there's 2 people, and we go down to 1, and it gets going. We'll have a group of 10 guys, and we'll have 5 basketballs going, and every basketball represents, when you're past the basketball, it's time to ask a question. So we'll have like 5 balls going at once. It gets crazy fast. But it really wakes someone up. It gets all those. It gets all the uhs and ahs and it gets all that. It gets all that stuff out. It just gets it out.
Totally.
It gets your day started off. It wakes you up for sure.
I have an idea.
Okay.
What if you shocked them when they paused? Like everybody, electrical thing that they.
Done. I'm gonna tell you
colors.
Craig's idea. Okay, so that's one. Okay, that's one.
Awesome.
Circle Closing Challenge. You can actually look that up. Circle Closing Challenge on YouTube and watch that video. It's like 10 minutes. Okay, it's good.
Cool. I'm gonna do it.
I'll put a link to it in the show notes.
There we go. There's another one called pick your objection, and we get in a line, and one person's in the front, and everybody else is in a line, and each person at the front of the line has to give this person an objection, and they have to rebuttal it, and then the next person comes up, gives another objection. We also have another one called rapid fire, where we all line up across from someone, and one person's on the other side of the room. We've got like 9 people over here, and we just rapid fire give the person objections for a few minutes, and they gotta be quick. They gotta agree, answer, and ask, and that's another one. We got several we do.
That's cool.
It has to just become automatic, right? And this, like muscle, it's the same as muscle memory. It's just brain memory. Just like they said this, boom, this is what you say. Not let's figure out what you need to say on the spot. No, I mean, come on.
Exactly.
There's only so many objections.
They only say the same few things. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, and it's, I think about it and email it to me are pretty much what you hear, right? I got to talk to my spouse. I mean, that's it.
An agent could honestly, I'm not saying I recommend this, but an agent could honestly have one really good response that could work with anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So someone could say, you know what, I'm not interested. I understand. I'm with you. It's my job to drop off the information. I'm obligated to get it to you. It's up to you with what you do with it. So should I drop it off in the morning or the afternoon? They could get to where they said that every single time, and it wouldn't even matter what the person said.
Yep. No,
So
I love it.
I think of objections as being in categories, and you should have responses for different categories. Call me back. I want to think about it. Call me next week. I'm busy, etc. Those are all the same objection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing to help insurance agents real quick, you guys are getting me pumped up and excited. I love this.
You're going to change.
Love it.
You guys are probably like, dude, get this freaking dude off of the podcast.
No way, man.
One of the things that agents don't realize is if someone gives me, like if I want to call and someone says, I'm not interested, I don't, I'm busy and I don't have any money. If they give me more than one objection, none of them are true.
Cut out. Say that again. If they give you one.
If they give me more than one objection, like I'm not interested, I'm busy, I don't have money. If they give me more than one, like, hey, I'm not interested and also I'm really busy, nothing is true. Okay.
Right.
That's true.
Good.
Yeah.
But if they give me one and they keep saying the same one, even though I totally ignore any objection I ever hear anyway.
Right.
But if they keep giving me the same one over and over again, it may actually be true.
That's an astute observation. I don't know why I've never thought of that.
We were talking
so
way earlier. Well, we filled your slot, but we filled your slot earlier by, we know a lot of agents. So we just kept bugging agents. And one of them we had on the hook. And Nick, if you're listening, you can laugh at this because you kept giving different objections. It was this objection, and I just kept ignoring them and saying, well, great. Pretty much if we handled that, then you'd be ready to go, right? Like that was kind of okay, we're great. That doesn't seem like an issue here. Boom, boom, boom. And then he ran out of objections. Like he couldn't do it anymore because his final objection was, well, I have an interview in 25 minutes. And I've said, well, perfect. That's all we need. Hop on. Here's the lick. And then it went ding dong and he came in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so funny.
That's so funny.
This is a lot of the stuff that we train on and talk about and I speak on at 8% Nation, the conference in Vegas this summer.
Oh, cool. We got to put a link for that.
Yes. So give us all the ways that people can get a hold of you and everything that you're a part of.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm most passionate about is 8% Nation. You can go to 8percentnation.com. Jordan Belfort's a big speaker this year for us. We're looking at several other big ones. Yeah, the Wolf of Wall Street. It's at the Pearl Theater at the Palms in Vegas. We'll have close to 2,000 insurance agents there in the room. It's July 24th and 25th in Vegas. If they want to follow me, there's really two ways to do that. YouTube obviously is my favorite. Why not? I would take 10,000 YouTube subscribers over 100,000 Instagram followers. And a lot of people would say I'm an idiot for saying that, but Evan Carmichael would agree with me, who I hired as a YouTube coach at one point. So there's a plug for him. So Cody Askins on YouTube, or Cody.Askins on Instagram.
Cool. Love it, man.
That's probably Instagram messaging me is probably the easiest way to get hold of me, honestly. I get a ton of Facebook messages. I don't get as many. I still get a few Instagram messages every day, but not as many. So I'll always respond to you. I'll probably respond with a video. I just like video. And hopefully if you're out there and this is resonated, I'd love to help in any way I can.
Love it. Dude, and now there's something in YouTube, right? It's almost like a Instagram kind of section where you can do posts and comments and
you can do a community. You can also do once you get to 10,000 subscribers, you can do stories on YouTube stories. I don't even know if we started using them yet, but we can use them. So yeah,
we're not quite there yet.
The tubes of you has a future, that's for sure.
What's that?
I said the tubes of you definitely has a future. They keep evolving with the times, and I could definitely see like Instagram getting to that point where maybe it's not cool, but man, YouTube.
There it is. There it is.
Boom.
I'm hitting the
Thank you. You're one of our 5 subscribers. Love it.
Our YouTube, the YouTube takes so much more work
awesome.
with the time, right? With editing. So that's what we were doing before we were talking to you was getting that in order so we don't have to do that, because it's way too time consuming.
You know what you guys are doing really well?
Please, there's got to be something.
Well, there's a consistent theme, and your faces are always on the thumbnail.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's Jason. He's been the YouTube guy.
Yep.
I used to love when I was in my teenage years. I loved doing graphic design. So I still like, to your point earlier, that shiny object syndrome type thing. Like I love doing it, but so I'll have periods of time where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm jumping back to the insurance or 10 other things I'm doing. And
Right. Hey, how many episodes have you guys done?
We just launched the 100th episode on Monday. We dropped it on iTunes.
Congrats,
man.
That's awesome.
I guess you are probably like 105, I would guess, ish.
It's a good number. It's a good number.
Yeah. It is a good
Almost
number.
snuck in for the 100th.
Well, maybe you'll have me back for 210.
Yes.
And then
the
310.
double. And the 3.
We could give you episode 1000 too.
There you go. I'm in. That's
so 8%. Where did that come from?
Yeah, 8% is about 92% of insurance agents fail within their first 3 years. So hence 8%.
Ah, I like it.
Then you got to be in that 8%.
That's right. It's a massive networking party. It's a ton of fun. A lot of people bring those online relationships offline. It's impossible not to take some ridiculous nuggets home that you can use. I truly don't know if there's another insurance conference that's not tied to an IMO or a carrier that's as good as this one.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody's got to check it out.
I think you may see at least one of the insurance dudes there.
One of the dudes.
Why not both?
Well, well, because Jason has 4 kids, so
I'm in Babyland right now.
I'm not going to speak for him, but mine are grown. Mine are older, so because I'm 90.
Nice.
He's 90 years old, so
we need to get you guys involved in the event in some way. You have to get back. You have to get in touch with Andy and see what opportunities there are. I'd love that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That might get him to go.
It might get my wife to. Yeah.
Normally that forces somebody to go.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, cool.
So I have to.
Well, so how about this? Let's wrap with one last question. What one piece of advice would you give to somebody coming into this, somebody crazy enough to jump into the insurance business and become an insurance dude or dudette?
Yeah, you need to hyper focus on one specific. So I would say step 1, have a goal. Step 2, sell one specific insurance product, okay? Like life insurance. You could sell term or whole, but like life insurance, or just Medicare or just P&C or whatever. Have a goal, sell one product. Step 3, do the math, okay? For example, if it's $100K, it's $2,000 a week. If your average premium is $61 a month, that's $732 a year. You need about 3. If it's $2K a week in premium, okay, just for easy math, then you need 3 policies a week. If you have a 50% closing rate, you need to sit with 6 people. And if 2/3 of the people stand you up, or 1/3 of the people stand you up, and you sit with 2/3, like most, then you need to set 9 appointments a week. Okay, so that's the third thing. Do the math, and then the fourth thing is be extremely consistent all year long, and just do whatever it takes to make the math work every single week. That's all I did. I'm not any better than anybody else. I worked really hard, and I made sure that I sat down with at least 10 people every week, even if I had to go cold door knock.
Made it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
That's it.
The activity creates the results. And if you don't hold yourself accountable to the activity, you're just hoping.
It's so simple and so hard for all of us to do for some reason, you know?
That's right.
Crazy.
Hey, this was amazing, guys. Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much. I know that it got juggled around.
Dude, thank you
and
so much.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on. We certainly want to have you come back, and we'll see you at your event.
Yes.
Yeah, and let me know if there's anything I can do. I'd love to. I'm big on relationships, and it's been good to get to know you guys, and hopefully we'll keep it going, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep in contact. Anything we can do for you as well.
Cool.
Secure Agent Mentor Dude. Thank you for
on the insurance dudes. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.